Neil, have you heard of the fake GitHub economy?
No.
Okay, so check this out. So basically, on GitHub, you can buy stars. So we've shared GitHub repos before. Like my GitHub repo now, the marketing skills one has like 2,200 stars.
Wait, GitHub lets you buy the stars?
No, it's a fake star economy. So you basically hire spammers to spam your GitHub repo for stars.
Oh, that makes more sense. I thought you were saying GitHub selling it. I'm like, why would GitHub sell that? That would just
Oh,
screw up
that
GitHub.
would totally screw their business, like
Yeah.
the integrity of their business. So
This is like people selling fake Yelp reviews and Google reviews
exactly.
and
Exactly. It's no different. Like everyone wants it. We're fake Amazon reviews back in the day, right? So for 85 to $285 in budget stars, a startup can manufacture the 2850 star seed median. For 990 to 4,500, it can reach Series A territory. Against typical seed rounds of $1 to $10 million, the ROI ranges from 3,500x to 117,000x. So at least 7 open source tools on GitHub, fake GitHub history, commit bot committers, exists specifically to fabricate GitHub contribution graphs, pre-built GitHub profiles with 5-year commit histories, and Arctic Cold Vault contributor badges sell for approximately $5,000 on Telegram. Isn't it
yeah.
funny how this works? Remember, Neil, I told you about I had remember I had that Marriott hotel program and I was able to get like it would allow you to stay at like really nice hotels for very cheap. So there's always these underground economies of these things. I'm not part of that thing anymore, so that's why I'm open to talk about it. So
Dude, it's just all these shortcuts don't end up working. I remember when people used to buy Amazon reviews back in the day. I'm like, but if you have a crap product, you're gonna get sales by buying the reviews and the stars. They've gotten better at catching people, but you end up shooting up in the systems, especially, if you're also, you're getting purchases, you're cheating the system is what these people are doing. But when they have a crappy product or service, or more so product on Amazon, eventually you start getting into crappy reviews. And for every one-star review, you need so many five-star reviews to make it up. I'm like, the model doesn't work. It's just better to spend the time creating something that's amazing.
dude, this is so funny. So, okay, well, I'm looking at the screen right now. So here's the marketplace. So if you want to buy premium stars, so aged accounts, it's basically like 80 cents to 90 cents. So gradual natural delivery, years old profiles with repos and contributions. This is no different than back in the day when people used to sell links on these
Uh-huh.
forums. Mid range, 20 cents to 50 cents, 1 to 2 weeks, some activity history. And then if you want to buy disposable accounts, 3 cents to 10 cents, and new empty profiles. And so they basically do a comparison here, Neil, where if you look at an organic, like Langchain, a lot of people know Langchain. So the median account age for people posting is like 3,000 days. And then the number of zero public repos, 6%. So when you compare it to all these other ones over here, like manipulated blockchain repos, this one over here, free domain, it has 28% public zero public repos, and then 81% are zero followers. So you can tell what is spam or not. But for GitHub, like they have other stuff to manage. And by the way, GitHub's owned by Microsoft, right? So I don't know how much
Yeah.
time they have to allocate to this.
Microsoft looked at buying Cursor, right? They decided not to.
You know who
Did you
got
see that?
Cursor?
Yeah, SpaceX. But SpaceX, I'm assuming the reason the deal was structured that way is they're waiting for them to themselves to go public and then do the transaction because they'll have more liquidity.
I actually so the bull case for doing this deal is because Cursor, who was doing I think 6 billion a year or something like that, right? 6 billion a year.
I don't
Um,
know. The last numbers I saw, I think, were 4 or 5, but they're growing so
yeah.
fast on a monthly
Yeah.
basis that it's too hard to keep up at
So
this
the
point.
problem for Cursor is at the 6 billion because they're limited on compute, for example. They and then but XAI has a ton of compute, but they don't have revenue. So you combine the two together, and then XAI or SpaceX, if they're valued at what is it, $2 trillion or something like that, they can justify doing a because this sixty billion is still a drop in the bucket based on their market cap.
Yeah, and then Google just put in 40 billion into Anthropic today.
Did they?
Uh-huh.
Dude, this is crazy. Yeah,
Yeah.
everyone wants to buy Anthropic right now.
You
Yeah.
know, it's the number 1 most valued private company in the world right now. Or sorry, not valued. I that I don't know. But it's the number 1 most wanted private stock right now, as in companies are trying to buy more, or investors are trying to buy Anthropic shares more than any other company. Number 2 is SpaceX. Um, I believe there's a girl named Zoe Talks who's a VC on Instagram. She breaks down the list. I don't think OpenAI was even in the top 5.
You know the thing though, OpenAI, they have a lot more compute. And so now like they're back in the game now, 2.0. Like every week something changes, right? It's like,
Yes.
oh, I don't use ChatGPT anymore. Now it's like 5.5 is out, they have this out, they have the agents out, and then they have a lot more compute. Like you just don't know. The good thing is Neil and I, we're not part of these companies, so we can be promiscuous and jump around whenever we want.
And I heard the CFO of OpenAI talk today, and she was breaking down how roughly their split is 50-50 now from enterprise versus, just general consumers.
I think both companies will be fine. Are you gonna let me ask you this, Neil? Are you gonna buy the IPOs for any of these?
No.
You know what I will buy? I'll wait for them to drop when there's a correction, when there's a big correction. So
'Cause, Eric and we're this is not financial advice, and people who got in early probably made a killing, but
definitely.
it's, more so like they're so expensive that the ROI for Eric and I to put in our money is not gonna be that high. It's just easier for us to play the game with our own companies. But what's funny enough is on TV, the guy who's been being brought up a lot is Sam Bankman-Fried. Remember
I
the
was gonna
crypto
just say that. Yeah.
because he invested in Cursor. They're like his Cursor shares would have been now worth 3 billion. He invested in Anthropic really early on, and they were breaking down on TV. He didn't have the funds at the time, and he should have never stole from customers. But on CNBC, they were talking about like he actually may be one of the best VCs of our time when it comes to picking companies before they're actually hot.
You know what they say, Neil? Pigs get fat, hogs get slaughtered, and he got too greedy. If you
Well,
just played your main business and then continue to do what you're doing without having to go too far, everything would have been fine.
he shouldn't have been using other people's money without their permission.
That's what I'm
That's a
saying.
bigger
Hogs
problem.
get slaughtered. He
Yeah,
did
yeah,
yeah, yeah. So, yeah. Okay. So, and the sad thing is I think he came in at what, like 2 what was it? You looked at this, right? The valuation,
and his Claude shares would have been, I mean, Cursor shares would have been worth 3 billion. That's what CNBC reported.
crazy. All
That's
you needed to
ridiculous.
do
Like he made a killing. Now, knowing him, because in Eric's analogy, he's describing him as a hog, even though the guy was a vegetarian. But I get the what is it called?
hogs can be vegetarian? The analogy?
Yeah, the analogy. There you go. I was blinking on it because I think that's a Warren Buffett phrase, right? Uh,
Warren Buffett or Charlie Munger, one of
yeah, it
them.
was one or the other. But yeah, he would have probably doubled down and continually given him more money per funding round. Dude, even Robinhood, he ended up buying, I believe it was around 9% when their stock was at all-time lows. That thing went up almost 10x, right? That would have been another, I think he bought like around $900 million worth. That would have turned to 9 billion. The real problem is one, he stole money and should have never done that. Two, the people who ran the liquidation, the lawyers or whoever, liquidated all of this stuff at the wrong time. Like they undersold it. Even when it came to Solana, they were selling it for what, 15 bucks or something like that?
Dude,
Solana shot to
Solana at
like
that
100,
point
200.
during that period, do you remember Solana dropped down to $1, I think, something like that, or $9.
No, I
Yeah,
think the cheapest was, yeah, like around 9, 10,
$9,
13.
yeah.
But when they sold it, it wasn't anywhere near there. It was climbing up to like 80 or 100 or 200. Like they
But,
sold it
it's
at the
not their
wrong time.
job, it's okay. Their job's to liquidate. So, Neil, one thing that we should talk about too, I don't know if you guys are doing this, I think it's smart, I just you and I don't have the time for it. Someone on our hopefully someone can take this and do this for us, but the rise of employee-generated content, have you seen this?
No, I'm curious on that
Okay,
one. Are you talking about employee generated like social content or
yeah. So let's just look at this for fun. So Clay, okay, so we know the company Clay, right? They do let's just say like data for sales or for outreach, for example. So let's see what we have going on with Clay. Let me share my screen with you all. So employee generated content is basically when you have your team creating content, everyone's promoting each other, which this is to me, this has been done in the past, but more and more people are doing it now. I think to build like build company pods where people are just posting. And so let's just look at this. So Clay has posts, okay, over here. I don't know if they show employees. These are all Clay, but a lot of Clay employees will okay, look, so I think this does this guy work at Clay? I have no idea. But yeah, like growth at Clay over here. So Gabrielle's like, okay, this is happening over here. Okay, this one gets 116 likes. Okay, Varun posted this, co-founder, 433 likes on it. So they have employees posting, they're cross-posting each other, and that's a flywheel that works for them. And then I ended up finding this company over here. I'm going to talk to them on next week. I think Virio employee engagement, employee content. Here, let's look at this over here. Okay. So I disclaimer, guys, I'm going to talk to them. This was shared with me by Ryan at lunch. So this is content that drives pipeline, a done for you service for vertical SaaS companies to turn LinkedIn into their number one channel. So basically, they make your entire team content engineers, agentic deep research, human taste. I'll let you know how it goes, but I've seen some companies do this really well. EGC is the new UGC. Make every employee generate pipeline in their sleep. So again, we'll see how this goes, Neil. I'll be the guinea pig for this one, and we'll come back to this later.
Yes, please report. By the way, remember you were doing that marketing experiment months ago, and we followed up on it maybe a month ago where you're giving away it was either AirPods or gift cards or something like that, to set up calls with people, with B2B companies?
Yeah, what we did on that one, I don't remember the numbers, but we were generating good meetings, so good, but the it didn't make sense for us to continue to pay the agency. So we're paying them 5 grand a month, but they also wanted 10% of revenue for the first 12 months on every single customer we closed. That
Wow.
that doesn't make sense, right? And so the moment we closed one, we're like, "Okay, guys, we're out." And so basically what we did, Neil, is we took all the sequences that were working well for them. We took all those, and then now we have our own running on instantly. And the thing is this, I'll tell you one thing, Neil. They tried charging one of our mutual friends 10 grand for the setup, and they said the infrastructure costs 10 grand a month. Guys, the infrastructure, using my OpenClaw to set it up, $600 a month. Instantly, it'll set it all up for you. It'll buy all the email domains for you, all these things, $600 a month, not 10 grand a month. You can send cold email all you want. Just make sure the offer is really good, make sure the copy is good, and then you can have the agent recursively tested over time. And that's not to say cold email is great because a lot of people are spamming it now. But if you still have a really good offer today, you should still be able to stand out.
Yes.
Quick break for SaaS founders listening. You know how content marketing works, you know how AI SEO works, and you've been seeing competitors ranking for your keywords all day long. But you don't have the time to write, and hiring a content team feels premature or just out of the budget. That's exactly why we built ClickFlow. It helps create AI SEO content that actually sounds like your brand. We're talking thought leadership, we're talking product content, comparison pages, without having to add more headcount. It also helps you do things such as building FAQs, internal linking, and telling you which old posts are hurting your domain. One user reported saving 90 hours per month, and that was a part-time employee. You can get a 14-day free trial at clickflow.com. Scale your content without scaling your team. Back to the show. So, I added, I went to my OpenClaw while we were talking, and I added a bunch of topics over here with these classics because we're running low on topics, and we still have 10 minutes to go. So,
All right, let's do this. Let's do some classics.
okay. So you pick the one of the classics.
7 marketing channels we'd bet on if we're starting over today.
My God. Okay, I'll start first. Um, if we were starting over from today, knowing what we know, knowing that there's very strong reach with clipping right now, I would do that. If we're starting over, I would take this podcast. I would go straight on what we are talking about earlier, the clipping economy. How do we make sure we have someone who's really good with strategy, clipping the right content at the right time, TBPN style, 1 minute clips? We're posting it to X, we're posting it to LinkedIn, and then we have an ad at the very end of it. It could offer Neil services or his products. Same for mine. We just rotate it over and over. And then because I do enjoy doing this, because this podcast forces us to stay sharp, I'll continue to do this. So it's kind of a, 2 in 1.
We'll call it number 1. Eric's number 1 will be the channel would be podcasting, but make sure you're also using clipping with your podcast. Number 2, the channel that keeps producing and is getting uglier and uglier is email. And I don't know why companies don't focus that much on collecting emails. One of the most powerful channels that you can end up leveraging. And the reason being is it's in your control. You can show up in people's inbox. You're not relying on algorithms. It just keeps producing revenue. Now, to collect the emails, you can do SEO. You can end up collecting emails through ads, like running Facebook ads or pushing it on your social profiles, but you should collect emails.
Yep. So number 3, I would go AEO. And when I say AEO, Neil, I don't know about you, but we're the number one thing we get asked for quite a bit right now is Reddit. Believe it or not. So a lot of big companies reaching out to us for Reddit, and that the reason they want that is because they want to do better with AEO. They want their reputation to look better as well. So they're looking for reputation management. They want community management as well. And so I kind of lump them together. And when I say AEO, by the way, that does also include SEO because AEO is grounded on, Google, and it is grounded on Reddit. It's grounded on YouTube as well. So we can talk about those later. But because, when you look at like an AEO result, the number one result gets a lot more click through versus like an organic SEO result.
And one stat to keep in mind, we looked at the highest converting channels. So whether you want to call it AEO, GEO, SEO, or whatever you want, but let's specifically talk about the LLM marketing side, like GEO, which is what Eric's also talking about. Uh, it converts more than 2.5 ish times than the next channel. The next highest converting channel for marketers is typically SMS. Underneath that is email, and then it gets into paid advertising. So, okay, and number 4 for my end, going live on social platforms. I don't wanna pick a specific social platform to go live because you should go live on all of them. I think there's a lot of platforms that can do that, whether it's, Riverside or StreamYard or Restream. I don't know all the names of all these platforms. I don't know which one we use on a regular basis, but we keep switching over time. What I do know is going live, we do this with our webinars all the time, it produces really good revenue.
Yeah, I mean, we're live right now. Does it produce a lot of revenue? Don't know about that, but I'll tell you what, we're live right now. So next
Or
one, number 5.
or let me rephrase, when we do webinars, it produces a lot of revenue, and ours is we pick specific topics, we promote it through the social channels, we promote it through email blasts, and then we go live at a scheduled time. So it's not when Eric and I are going live here on our podcast, it's just randomly going live, it's not scheduled or anything like that or pushed out or promoted.
All right, number 5, yeah?
Yeah, number 5.
Alright, number 5. I think Neil's computer's about to die. He's, like, chopping out. Okay, so number 5. So, number 5 is X. The reason I love X right now is because of the articles. When I write articles and when I write a post, I can spin up 100,000 views, 300,000 views, and it actually drives good leads. The other thing I'll say, Neil, when I wrote a post about that TBPN post, their main producer liked it and followed me. You know what I did? I immediately DM'd him. I said, "Hey, are you available for work right now?" Because I want to do that for the stuff that we're doing right now. And so it's very opportunistic. So I think X increases your, people like to say it increases your surface level of luck. I do think it actually does that. The more you publish, the luckier you get. And I do tend to think that the smartest people, especially with AI psychosis, are hanging out on X right now.
Number 6, right? Number
Yep.
6 would be the second highest converting marketing channel out there. I briefly discussed it, SMS. I don't know why people don't collect phone numbers. It doesn't matter if you're B2B or B2C, it works well. We collect phone numbers. Again, it works well. And you shouldn't just call people, you should also follow up through text messaging. Just make sure you have the right permissions to do so.
Great. Number 7. So you can double dip here a little bit. So with LinkedIn, the cool thing is X has articles. LinkedIn also has articles too. So whatever article you put on X, just throw it on LinkedIn too. Whatever. So I use LinkedIn as just a repurposing platform now because I don't have, once you kind of lose the luster of the reach, like whatever you publish takes off. And then once you lose that superpower, it's really hard to get that back, at least from what I've seen. And I also don't want to spend the time being the reply guy and just reply to a bunch of people. So I just use that to repurpose articles. We use it to repurpose our YouTube videos. We use it to also clip this type of stuff too. Not as much though, but I do find LinkedIn's pretty good for driving business once you have the reach. It's just that we already have enough stuff going on right now, so I'm good with it. Just kind of keeping the lights on. But here's what I'll say: the people that do really well on LinkedIn, if I were to start from scratch, day, okay, if I were to start from scratch, I would go hard on X and LinkedIn especially.
Yep. All right. So what's the next topic that we want to talk about?
This will be the last one.
What was that?
This will be the last one.
The last one, SEO is dead again, or SEO is dead again. Why are we doubling down anyways? All right,
Dude,
let's.
this is not bad, right? So, okay, since the beginning of me learning SEO, so I think I started learning SEO in maybe 2011, 2000, maybe 2010 or so. Neil's a little earlier than I was. Um, so people have said always SEO is dead. I remember Gary Vee did a video, SEO is dying, right? And they're like, oh, it's so dead. And then Bill Gurley, SEO is dead, right? All these people, SEO is dead. And so here's the thing, they might say, okay, sure, Google search is declining or whatever. No, it's not. It's actually going up. Their profits are going up as well. And so the search engines are healthier than ever, right? Gemini, for example, is one of the best models out there. Sure, your website traffic might be declining, but remember this: the LLMs, AEO, GEO, whatever you want to say, they are still grounded on the search engine. So really good SEO still directly affects how you convert or how you show up in the LLMs, and that's why it's still very important.
Yeah, SEO is not dead. GEO is not dead. AEO, whatever you want to call any of these, is not dead, and they have changed though. It's what is dead is optimizing for clicks, but from a revenue perspective, we're still seeing a lot of growth. from SEO and GEO and channels like that. It's just people still focus on the old metrics like, oh, my clicks are down. Well, if your clicks are down, but your revenue is up from those channels, you should be really good, in which you should be happy. And then you just move on.
Yep. All right, guys. So that is it. Let us know if you want Neil and Eric to be the Marketing Bros Podcast Network. Let us know in the comments. And that being said, we will catch you all later. Goodbye. Have a great weekend.